The Commonweal Theatre Company opens every season with a tribute to the father of modern drama, Henrik Ibsen. Our annual Ibsen Festival is a weekend of events celebrating Scandinavian theater, art, music, and dance. And at the center of it all, a production of one of Ibsen's time-honored works.
One of the challenges we face in honoring our commitment to producing the works of Henrik Ibsen annually is that there is a dearth of playable scripts, that is, scripts that fall easily on our ears, that make it easier for us to understand the issues.
Celebrated Minnesota playwright Jeffrey Hatcher has been commissioned by the Commonweal to adapt John Gabriel Borkman, An Enemy of the People, Pillars of Society, A Doll's House, and Brand.
And I believe that other theaters will look to these adaptations when considering producing Ibsen, who is starting to have a renaissance throughout the world, and America is slowly catching up.
This season's new adaptation is An Enemy of the People. Newly discovered natural springs and medicinal baths offer prosperity to a struggling town until a local doctor realizes the waters are dangerously polluted.
An Enemy of the People, I think, on the first reading, looks like a grand political story. There's a lot of political rhetoric in there about the nature of democracy and the tyranny of the majority and what happens when one man tries to stand up against an institution or a political structure, but that it's really a very human story, not so much about the politics. I think Ibsen is too great a playwright for us not to put a great deal of significance in the fact that he's put two brothers in the middle of this firestorm and the family of Dr. Stockman.
Some of Ibsen's plays, Peer Gynt comes to mind, Brand comes to mind, Enemy of the People comes to mind, call for incredibly large cast sizes. And given the economics of theater and the limitations of our small house, 208 seats and a 3/4 thrust in a 19 by 19 space, it's virtually impossible to make 25 or 30 people look good on stage.
Part of my marching orders was to reduce the cast size for a lot of reasons. Economics, because the show is a touring show and all that. And also, there were two kids in the original, two little boys. The doctor has 3 children. He has a grown-up daughter and 2 sons. And this is a prejudice of mine, and probably in evidence also when we did Turn of the Screw. I just don't like seeing children on stage, you know. And if you look at the play, it's hard to find a real good reason for those 2 little boys to be there.
We're accomplishing this in a number of ways. Sometimes we're finding characters that can be eliminated or combined. Other times we're finding actors can portray more than one role in the course of a story. And both of these devices are well known to our audiences and we think acceptable to American audiences anywhere.
Then I was, from the beginning, very interested and very excited about opportunities for the story to spill out from the stage into the audience, which is something I think that you don't think of in an Ibsen play, certainly, and you don't see a lot of necessarily in theater.
Enemy of the People is a play about what happens when many voices drown out one voice. Thankfully, in the theater, many voices don't work to drown out one voice, they work together to create one voice. So in both the creative process and in the plot of the play really symbolizes how one voice can stand out and speak effectively to a community, making the community wiser, richer, and ultimately more cohesive.